Because cartoons always have a ton of episodes, not every single one will be good. Some cartoons are amazing overall, but there are still a few storylines that really shouldn't have been made. Today I'll be going over some of the worst episodes of good cartoons, and keep in mind these are just my opinions. First up, I'm going to be talking about an episode of SpongeBob. I'm counting seasons 1 to 3 as its own era, so this worst episode comes from those golden years. In my opinion, the worst episode in that time is Party Pooper Pants. It's a half-hour special involving SpongeBob throwing a house party for a ton of residents in Bikini Bottom. Now don't get me wrong, this episode wasn't completely bad, and there were some hilarious jokes, but I think the biggest problem is that it went on way too long and it should have just been a normal 11-minute episode. There were some patchy sections that really weren't necessary, and the whole party thing could have worked well in a shorter time. Most of Party Pooper Pants was just boring or meh, and it wasn't great for pre-movie standards.
That was one house party we'll never forget, right, Jennifer?
That's right, Patchy.
Now it's time for the most exciting part of all. Swapping the deck.
Actually, I have to go move my scooter.
Wait a minute. All hands on deck. All hands on deck.
Everyone knows the Loud House, and although some people don't like it, it's a popular Nicktoon that takes up a ton of time on the network. While most of the episodes are average to slightly above average quality, there's one in particular that people don't like. It's called No Such Luck, and it involves Lincoln being rejected by his sisters because they think he's bad luck. This episode was just a whole lot of unnecessary Lincoln torture. He gets banned from his family's activities and they eventually decide to kick him out of the house. I feel like this was a little too mean-spirited, especially for a happy feel-good show like The Loud House. Although it had a decent lesson at the end, most of No Such Luck was dedicated to torturing Lincoln, and that kinda sucks. Adventure Time is one of the most popular modern cartoons, but the episode Dream of Love was a huge step down from the normal quality of the show. It involved a love plot between tree trunks and a pig, but their public displays of affection interfere with everyone's normal lives. I think when you sit down to watch Adventure Time, you probably don't want to see two animals making out for several minutes. Maybe Dream of Love would have worked better if most of the episode wasn't making out, but it just seemed pointless.
Dream of love, dream of love, it's only a dream of love.
You probably remember how good Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends was, but many fans can agree that there are a few bad episodes. Several episodes are hated by most people, but in my opinion, the worst episode is Foster's Goes to Europe. Mac wins a trip to Europe and decides to take his friends with him. However, as Mac tries to get everyone ready, things do not go as planned. Now this entire episode basically takes place in real time, so you have a ton of setup for the actual trip to Europe. While that part was a negative aspect of the episode, I honestly think it isn't too bad. The one moment that made this episode terrible is the ending scene. Madam Foster hugs Mac, secretly steals the Europe tickets from his pocket, and then the gang goes to the airport. But when they're there, Mac realizes he has no tickets, and we see Madam Foster on a plane with her friends. She literally stole the Europe tickets just so Mac and his friends couldn't go there. This was against Madam Foster's character shown in all the previous episodes, and it was really messed up. Mac did nothing to deserve that throughout the episode, and Madam Foster wasn't even the type of person to steal stuff like that.
No, I got everything I needed out of that hug.
Finally, I'll be talking about a Fairly OddParents episode that I'm surprised was even made. It's in the era of the first few seasons, and that was when the show was at its best. However, the episode It's a Wishful Life was really not good. The plot involves Timmy wishing he was never born so he could see what life would be like without him. Now with a show like Fairly OddParents, you'd expect some kind of good lesson to be learned. But in this episode, Timmy views this alternate timeline and he finds out that everyone in Dimsdale now has a better life since he doesn't exist. There's never really a satisfying conclusion to It's a Wishful Life, because everyone is actually happy without Timmy around. Throughout the episode, he begins to question what he's done wrong and why people don't thank him for various acts of kindness. But there's no real answer to this. The only moral this teaches is that Timmy being born was a terrible thing for society, and that everyone would live better lives if he never existed. Fairly OddParents usually isn't this mean-spirited towards Timmy, so this was hard to watch. Anyway, that's all for this video. Subscribe for more awesome cartoon videos. Give a thumbs up and comment below to let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, guys.